right, we're live. Let me just get this oriented right. Okay. Cool. So we're going to be doing things a little bit differently today. So I have to get these watercolors ready for an upcoming show in November. So I'll probably be doing a couple of these just until then. I think I have like 6 that I need to get ready. And I'm just going to take it slow. I'm not going to rush them or anything. But these originally showed at the dairy barn. And now I need to get these ready for not the dairy barn. I think I'm actually going to start by putting some wet watercolor, like some wet pigment, onto my makeshift travel case. It's actually from an old, this is actually an old eyeshadow case that I've had for a while, and I just wasn't using any of the colors in it. But I kind of want to have just a little bit more pigment than what's already on there, so I'm gonna put some wet down. Kind of one of the cool things about watercolors, you can work with them either wet or dry. And what I want to do for this is to put down dry, which I already have, and then oh, I got a notification, and then kind of put wet pigment down where I want things to be a little bit more vibrant. The palette is largely the same as what I'll use in my oils. They just dry a little differently, so there's a couple more, like there's more blue and everything. Hold on, let me put a message in the chat so people know that I'm active in the chat. Alright, cool. And then I think I want to put some purple down, and we'll just kind of start with that. Alright, here's my purple. Remember the running joke I have about... I keep getting a lot of... The family group chat is very active right now, so if you hear my phone going off, that's what it is. My mic volume. I cannot increase my mic volume, sadly. I stream off of my iPad, and yeah, I can't actually do anything to increase it. I can increase it in post, but that's about it. Yeah, sorry. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, there it is. Huh. It's okay, just turn it. Yeah, sorry. I kind of make people increase volumes. Sadly. Alright. Okay, I think that's about all I want right now with pigment. For this lady in the middle, I am largely going to be using dry paint, and then I'm going to be using wet watercolor for the space around it, just to make the background stand out a little bit more in comparison to her. It's kind of a hard trick to pull off. The first one in the series, which is actually one of the two that sold, I was able to pull it off a little bit better, and then I've just kind of had problems with it from there on out. I think largely it just needed some more time. So here I am. Here we are. So I'm just going to add a little bit more definition. I already got paint on the hands. I'm not even using that color. I had to double check to make sure this song was copyrighted, or was not copyright, because I have my music on a no copyright playlist. And I don't know, this song sounds like something that should be copyrighted somewhere, like by Arise Records or something. I don't know. I double checked. It's certainly, I'm in the clear. Yeah, okay. I guess Eli texting me counts as active chat. That was dark. In some ways I find watercolor a little bit more difficult than oil just because it's not as easy to move around. Like, it's not as easy to correct all the time. Seems a little counterintuitive, I know, because you're using water, but like you can see it moves a lot. It'll balloon out just on its own. And I'm not using any sort of a reference for this, which might be shooting me in the leg, but I don't know. It's really hard to find references for this sort of angle that I was wanting to use in this series. So I'm just kind of going with it and hoping for the best at this point. I think I might need to find a different playlist because this is a little bit more dramatic than what I typically like. Let's find a new playlist. Let's see. Okay, that'll work. Looking gorgeous, especially like, I'm still looking realistically thin. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, I was in Florida when I was working on these, so was definitely kind of going with some of the bodies that I saw around Florida. Especially when you're laying down like that, like your legs will sort of push out, like up against whatever surface they're on. But I get that comment a lot with this painting in particular. Coincidentally, I think that's part of the reason it hasn't sold though, because I think people are worried about like, I don't know, I think people might think it looks a little lewd or something. I don't know. Like, they don't want to have a thick chick chilling on a pool raft? Is that what this specific style? Pancake a bit. Yeah, so it'll push up against whatever surface you're on. Hold on, I gotta take my sweater off. I can't get a handle on the weather right now. Like, it gets cold and I pull all my sweaters out because I freeze, and then it shoots back up to 80 degrees. I think we're gonna go a little darker here. Also, thank you, Eli, for sharing that link in the family chat. Let's see. The problems with the limbs a lot of the time is like, it's really hard to get any kind of like definition in them because they're really just sort of tubes. When you look at them, like if you're drawing an arm or a leg, it's just sort of a bunch of tubes stuck together with a ball joint. So it can be a little hard to, put any kind of structure in there. I think about the best you can hope for is trying to add some structure in like the bonier parts of those limbs, like in elbows or in knees and ankles, which I think is part of the reason that this didn't look so up to standard when I first did it. I had to crank these out pretty quickly for the show I was on, and I was on vacation. I just like sat around and was lazy. You don't want to do that, just to any of my young artists out there. If anybody's watching this now or like watching it later, like try really hard not to sit around and just wait. It was hard because it was summer, and like even before the beach, like I had time to get ready for it. I was just being lazy. And I don't know, I mean it felt kind of bad, like I felt low-key kind of embarrassed. I don't know, I mean maybe I needed some like shamed-based motivation so that it didn't happen again, but yeah, that's the story of this watercolor. Alright, I'm gonna bring that in because this looks like the local color has not shifted. Let's see. I think I'll have to add some more tones into those toes just to get them to look a little bit better. Do you have a stream schedule and a promo too? I do. Yeah, I stream every Thursday around this time. I did not know r/painting was a thing. I'm not a huge Reddit user, really. So, thank you, Kathleen. I love the backgrounds of these. Thank you. I'm gonna try and work on 6 of these. It's not the whole series, but it's a lot of them. So yeah, they're gonna. Oh, this looks really funny. But yeah, I'll be working on all of these as I go on. I did not know r/painting was a thing though. Leaf Warrior. Yeah, I guess I should reopen my old Reddit account. I had one, but I really only used it for creepypasta before it kind of became a cringy meme. Like, I think I only posted one, but I tried to write a couple and they never really caught on. Definitely. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah, I think I'll have to... I'll see if I can remember my old login. I mean, I don't think I've used that account since probably freshman year of college, I think. It's been a while. Alright. See, I already think that looks a lot more structured than what it was before. I think I would like to put a little bit more pigment there, but I'm going to wait for it to dry a little bit because I don't want it to balloon out too much. And the workshops we do, which are mostly, like almost predominantly watercolor, we cheat a little bit and use hair dryers, but I'm not gonna subject you guys to the sound of a hair dryer right now. You occasionally get the sound of my dog barking. I think that's about enough. This is wonderful. Thank you, Morgan. And welcome to the stream. Let's see. All right, I guess I should tackle the hand next. Y'all, hands are hard. I think like about 9 out of 10 times I can make it a strong 70% believable hand, but it never gets easier. Honestly, you just kind of learn how to deal with the common mistakes as you go along. I'm gonna use the scoop brush instead of the angled. Like it's always gonna be hard. I think I want to add some orange to some of this. Starting to look a little muddy. We'll see if I like it. We'll see if I can avoid Jersey Shore territory. Speaking of Jersey Shore, that is not a show I expected to come back. I don't have cable, so I don't know for sure like what it's all about, or if it's done happened, but like I saw online that it was coming back. And I just didn't expect for it to. Let's see. Actually, I don't know if my iPad is picking up these tiny little details. I know the picture quality on this thing is a little questionable. I'm hoping that this sort of accessible stream option that YouTube has now kind of encourages Apple to make better cameras on their like their iPads. Their phones are still pretty good, but I've always found that the iPad camera quality is a little lacking, which is why I don't really use it to take pictures even now. I know that the new one, which is what I have, is supposed to have the best picture quality yet, but I had an iPad 1 when they first came out, and then haven't really had anything prior. I haven't had anything after the first generation came out until this most recent one. And I couldn't really tell a whole lot of difference. It's still kind of, there's a lot of noise that kind of picks up. Although I realize like that's kind of a first world problem complaining about tech, but like dang it, they're expensive. And they're such a work utility item at this point that, I don't know, I think there just needs to be some more pressure. Alright. Oh, I didn't say colors. I'm just using, I believe I am using, I'm not using burnt sienna, am I? I am using, not using yellow ochre. I'm using raw umber. So I'm using raw umber and I'm just mixing it with whatever generic orange we're using. Burnt sienna. Oh, I am using burnt, that's not burnt sienna. No. What's our orange? Cadmium, yeah. Whenever I see cadmium on a paint, I just sort of think like, it really just means like generic basic hue, insert color here for whatever color you're using. Which is why I have a hard time remembering cadmium. It's like if cadmium pink exists, it's that Barbie pink that you think of when you think of pink. That's kind of how cadmiums work. I feel like there's gonna be an art person who like disagrees with me and starts a flame war. Alright, that looks a little rough on the lower arm, so I'm gonna dab it. But it is the good thing about watercolor. You can erase pretty easily. So, like, pro tip. Do people still say that? I'm such an old lady. So cadmiums are over bright like blaze orange. Yeah, pretty much. I can show you the cadmiums that I have in this palette. Well, this is not. The purple's not a cadmium. The purple is a dioxylene. But like, this is cadmium orange. So it's like, or cheap looking. I mean, I don't know about cheap looking because it's probably like super expensive to get that hue. I haven't compared paint prices in a while, but I don't actually know. Yeah. Yeah, because all that colors paints is just it's just like some sort of sediment that they take out of the ground. So I would imagine, just depending on the kind of sediment that they use. Yes, people still say pro tip. Okay, thanks Morgan. I mean, if you're ever having trouble with a hand, you can just use your own hand for reference. So like, this hand doesn't look quite right because I didn't give her enough of this part, this little like meaty part right here. So basically it's just like a robot latch hand. And I'm going to remedy this really quick. I think, yeah. Also might need to thin her wrist out here. But yeah, I haven't compared paint prices in a while. I'm a bad artist. I still use a lot of what we used in our like little beginners kits in college, just because I haven't had a need to buy much else. And that's not really what you're supposed to do, because I don't know, you're supposed to constantly be like incorporating new colors into your palette, and it kind of becomes a calling card thing. But I just haven't. I'm way too lazy. And I'm kind of, I guess I'm kind of a lush. Like, I always want to try brand new things instead of just like, oh, this is a different shade of purple. Like, I guess I'm supposed to be excited by those things, but I just haven't learned to be yet. Speaking of new things, I got a new set of pens, which is really cool because they're blendable and they're water-based, so I can use them with the ink. So starting Sunday, my Inktober stuff is going to have color. Not all of it, but some of it. And I'm pretty excited about that because I think it looks pretty okay. Alright. So I'm just going to darken some of this in here. I'm kind of wondering if I should add ink to these, but yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if it'll ruin the illusion with the background, which is a good possibility. Okay, as I get down where like her head's going to cover some of her body, I'm going to add, well, now I'm adding burnt umber because I want to darken some of these really dark shadowy places. And generally, why add ink? I don't know. I've used watercolor and ink on some of my pieces in like my traveling sketchbook, and I think it looks pretty, I mean, I think it looks pretty good, but it kind of gives the watercolor a dark to stand up against and kind of makes everything look a lot more luminous. But like, luminous isn't really what I want with these because they're supposed to be at night. I don't know, people, like, I have a really good reaction to them. Like, whenever people look at them, they say they like it a lot. But I don't know. I'm just not sure that that's the right effect for these. But that's a good tip if you're wanting to go into painting. If you want, say, a certain section of what you're painting to look lighter, like there's a cast light hitting something, don't add a lot of white to that part of the object or to that object. Actually, like, what you want to do is you want to make everything around it darker. And even if it does seem like really dark, generally your picture can take a lot of darkness. The only place you want to really be careful with that is if you're going into portraits, but yeah, that's that's one of the tips I really kind of took away from my painting class, is that white does not equal light. It's everything around it that equals light. And I'm really liking the addition of burnt sienna that I'm adding to this. So I'm just going to keep doing it. Guess I need to add some down here on her legs. Okay. Let's see. I think I want this to jut out a little bit more right there. Just a smidge. Because this little area is going to be pretty dark. Yeah, trying to get things relatively light and dark in a picture is pretty difficult, because our eyes are pretty good at determining when that doesn't look right. So if you're trying to really kind of create the illusion, it's really one of the harder things to pull off in painting. But it's also one of the first things that a lot of painting courses will really hit, so there are a lot of kind of just tried and true, like, old tricks of the trade that have continued to exist. Any plans to add ripples on the water? I don't know. I have a couple down here that I'll probably have to reinforce, but not a whole lot, because I don't want it to ruin the overall illusion. Oh, is that an ad? Nope, that's the actual song. That sounds like ad music. Watching too. Oh. Oh, Kathleen, I just realized who this was. I forgot your full name was Kathleen. Oh my gosh. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I wonder if she can. She probably recognizes my voice. Are you guys coming down Saturday? And I'm Eli. Well, yeah, I know who you are. I was laughing because I called you Kathleen. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know who I thought you were. I saw Thompson, so I'm like, okay, this is someone that I've met at a family reunion. Is Saturday bowling? No, Friday's bowling. Saturday is Oktoberfest in Mannington. And I gotta go there and meet a lady. But I think Tanner's gonna be there and stuff. Well, actually, yeah, I don't know if the rest of the family's gonna be there, because I think they have a wedding, but I gotta go down there anyway, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys want to go mess around and keep Tanner company. I'm gonna be in the gallery because I gotta put a frame on that commission that your dad asked me for, just to make sure it's ready by the 13th. I'm kind of keeping up. Yeah, bring the squirms. Bring the squirmy wormy. She'll probably enjoy the excitement. She is an active little thing. Just wants to observe everything. Like, she'll even get bored if I have the same show on TV for too long. The wedding is next weekend. Yeah, oh, it's next, okay. Cool. Oh, well then what's everybody doing this weekend? I thought there was something going on this weekend. Oh well. Alright, that's going in a little dark. Let's see. Let's bring this in. I think in some ways toes are harder than hands. I can go back into that. I think I'm gonna have to take some red and kind of like redefine some of this line here because that does not look like a foot. Okay. Also, let me know if I need to adjust the music or anything. I know it's coming in pretty light. I wish there was some way to give the iPad a better mic, but it doesn't have one. Whenever I edit videos, I always have to turn the audio up like about, I don't know, like I'd say about 20 notches, which is in my opinion quite a bit. But I don't even know if you can stream from like a laptop camera. I guess you can. I haven't really tried it though. I've only ever really seen people do it with like iPhones and stuff when they're on the go. Make sure they get the feet nice and detailed. Oh Lord. You're gonna make it so no one buys it again. Or it's gonna be like some creepy college student puts it up in his dorm. This is a family show. Alright. So I'm just trying to add as much structure as possible. Okay. Let's see. So by far, I think this section should be the darkest. Sorry, you guys probably can't see what I just did there. Let me move that up. Okay. This section here is going to be very dark just from the head. And we're going to add just a little thin line. When you're adding a line, you don't generally want it to be immediately up against, kind of where those two places meet to make a seam. You want it to be, like if it's a shadow, you want it to be slightly away from that, because if you look at an object in real life, there's always just like a little space where whatever that object is sitting on is reflecting up on it. And if you put that shadow like all the way up against where those seams meet, it actually really flattens the image quite a bit. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I think there are some artists who stylistically make use of kind of flatter shapes really well, but it's not really entirely my thing. I tend to paint very flat, just on purpose, like not on purpose, but just sort of unconsciously without really meaning to. So I have to try and stay aware of it. Because as much as we like to try and act like it, not all of our decisions are 100% based on control of like quality control, not quality control, but what's the word? Control of medium. Like you want to try and have as much control over the medium, but you're never going to have as much as you actually want. And if anybody says they have like 100% control over the medium, they're lying. Let's see here. There, that looks. That hand looks a little bit more natural now. Okay. Alright, let's start defining this knee a little bit more too. Let's give an ankle here. I'll go in and play around with some of these contour lines with the red of the pull float here in a little bit. There we go. And I'm keeping this line here because I do want there to be just like the hint of a shin kind of coming through. I'm grasping for structure where I can get it. Let's do the same thing down here. Oh, someone is texting up a storm. I don't know if we are going bowling later. I think I want to skip this song. It sounds like video game boss music. I don't even know if you guys can hear it, since I know that the mic on this thing is really questionable. Okay. Let's add some dark here. So like, whew, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so like, oh. How do you sell your pieces? Have you set up an online shop? So I have a Redbubble where I'm selling designs. I have a PayPal. I don't have like a website or anything. I think what I'm going to end up doing with sales is I'm just going to try to put like a disclaimer somewhere in my description that says like, contact me about sales and commissions. But a lot of my following is on Instagram, and you don't get a lot of space with your description there, so I just kind of have to figure out exactly how to handle all of that. I mean, maybe I should have a website, I don't know. But I don't really have anything yet. But I do definitely need to get on that because people don't know, like, people are kind of afraid to ask, I think, unless there's any kind of signage that says that it's okay to ask. Like, I think people are sometimes intimidated by creators of all types, and they don't really like to ask. It's just what I've learned from going to festivals and such. Like, and I'm here to tell you right now, like, when you're at a festival, like, you're trying to sell, so if there's an artist and you, like, you kind of want them to commission something or do something custom, like, they're generally open to doing it. They just might not have anything up because they expect people will ask if they want it, which isn't the case. Like, I know people are really shy, and most people are kind of a little socially anxious. At least a little bit. Alright, let's play around with this elbow here. It's not really an elbow, but like the, what is that, the crook of your arm? Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to kind of work on that whenever I start putting some more into this life raft. It's not a life raft, it's like what? I forget what this style of pole float is called. Is it a lounge float? I don't know. They're always my favorite. I kind of want one of those really fun ones that are kind of trendy right now. Like, you know how it's like really on trend to have a donut or like a pizza or something? I kind of want one. I've seen ones where they're like seashells, and I think that would be really cool. It could be like the birth of Venus, but always. And without hair in my case. And probably less naked. Probably. Okay. I can work on that. Just need for that to get a Super Chill Aquatic Lounge Master. Do they make those? If you can find me an affordable one, I might buy it and take it on all of our beach trips. Even though it's kind of been a hot minute since we've... Well, it's not been a hot minute since we've gone to the beach. It's sort of been a hot minute since we've gone where we can swim. But that's okay. I don't know. As I get older, I'm not super into swimming anymore. It's kind of sad. That used to be my favorite thing to do when I was little. I don't know. I sometimes feel like as an adult, things become less fun as you get older. Which sounds really sad to say. But, like, I get less excited about things. I get really excited about movies and, like, hangouts and things like that, but I don't know. Okay, let's start on this float. So I'm using not using permanent rose. I think I'm using cadmium red. Yes. So again with the cadmiums. Oh, that was not cadmium. That was the permanent. I can totally relate to not getting as excited. Yeah. I always feel like whenever I stream, I end up kind of talking about bummer things like getting older. But yeah, I don't know. I get less excited about the things that I used to anyway. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just that I get excited about different things. Like, I'm super excited about going to Kennywood whenever we decide to go and that sort of thing. Like, I still get really excited about, like, Halloween and stuff like that, even though I'm not a fan of swimmer, but I love being by the... Yeah, I love being by the water. And I like... This is why I like these sort of loungy pool floats, is I like kind of lounging in the water where I don't get too hot. I missed out on the beach this year, so I can't wait. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I especially can't wait for Ellie to get big enough where she can kind of walk. Because, like, there is nothing more fun than seeing just the sheer excitement of a child at the beach. Like, I don't know, if you're a person who, like, who feels good when you see other people really happy, like, man, toddlers at the beach, there is no joy like it. It is kind of fantastic. And I can tell she's going to be a super active kid who loves just, like, running around. She's already pretty active for an infant, I feel like. We can all take turns walking her around on the beach, looking at seashells. Some of my fondest memories of as a child are at the beach. Some of my earliest ones are too. The mega squirm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Are we still gonna call her Squirm as she gets old enough that the squirming becomes crawling and walking? That's the nickname, Squirm. Yeah, she's gonna be... Sometimes she gets mad if I try to pick her up and she's just like having tummy time. Like, she will actively get mad. Yes, of course. It's just more direct squirming than... It's squirm with purpose. Alright, so I'm just gonna, like... I'm just kind of upping the, I joke that I'm gonna be calling her that when she's a tween. Oh, she'll love that when she's a teenager. But I'm just sort of upping the red on this float because it wasn't quite as vibrant as I would have liked it to have been. Especially for that plasticine rubber material that they use to make these things. But yeah, she'll love that. Like on her first date, you'll be calling her Squirm. Yeah. You'll be calling her Squirm at her wedding if she decides to get married one day. Yeah, I feel like just that difference there kind of makes a huge difference in the quality. Okay. So I think what I want to do is bring this angle in here so that it lines up better with the foot coming out on the other side. And then I'll have to bring it slightly up because there's a little bump on your foot. If you ever point it, like, you'll notice that there's a kind of a bump on the plane there. the shiny. This was a superb edition. Yeah, it's pretty bright. I'm in my living room so I can have outlet space since I have to sit. But that shine should go down and it should dry matte. Yeah, I apologize if that makes it kind of hard to see. I can push it into the shadow. I'll see on the float. Yeah, that'll kind of go down, but let's see. Ooh! Did y'all hear that? Max. Guys, you might hear Max start barking here because it is currently thundering, and my dog does not like the thunder. He thinks the thunder is a larger dog trying to fight with him, so he tries to fight the storm, which is not as metal as it sounds. It's just thunder. Yeah. Yeah. That's weird, Leandra. Oh, hi, Leandra. Oh, thank you. I'm proud of you, too. I keep seeing your modeling stuff, and it always looks amazing. From the thunder. Yeah, dogs and storms. It's not... I think all dogs should come with, like, a thunder vest, or whatever they're called. Unless you have like a chill dog that doesn't like them, but I have not met a dog that didn't have problems with the storm. But yeah, Leandra, it's storming here. I keep wondering if the power, like, I know one of these days that I'm gonna be streaming or something and the power is just gonna go out. Okay, I'm taking that foot down, trying to make that look a little bit more like a normal part of somebody's body. I don't know how I did not catch that the first go around with these, but that is okay. Paintings are never really done. Like, art is never really done. It's just done enough. And I just don't think this one was done enough. Okay. So I'm using my angled brush and I'm just sort of edging where I want lines to stop. So like, for example, this wrist needs to come down right here. And you just sort of make a line. And the angled brush is good for that because you get a really nice hard, you get a nice hard line just from bringing that back and forth. So, same with research and writing, never done, never perfect. Yeah, you just have to say like, all right, I can stand it. It's like, I can stand this amount of complete. Yeah, that already looks, I think, loads better. And I am happy to be working on these at a place that I can kind of work on them a bit more. Ben seems to think they'll really sell. I don't know. I've really only sold 2 of them. Like, I've sold my favorite one that I thought was the best, and then I sold the one that I thought was the worst. So I don't really know where that leaves me taste-wise. I hope the neighbor dogs are out. I can hear them playing with their squeaky toy in the front lawn. It's Max's arch nemesis. Let's see if he'll notice it today. Yep, there he goes. You're about to hear some barking. I think there should be an unofficial drinking game for this. Only not, because this is like a family picture, but I don't know, if you're at home and you're of age and you're responsible and you're going to be driving like Take a drink whenever Max barks. Like, take a drink whenever Max barks. Take a drink whenever my phone goes off. Let's see. Finish your drink when I drop my paintbrush. Woo, that is running. That is okay. I can fix that once it dries, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Sometimes it's a little nice when it runs. This definitely needs to be darker. I sometimes think like there's a lot, like there's just so many ways to go about painting with watercolor. Like sometimes that can seem a little restricting to me. Like there's a lot of different things that can be interesting about them and make for an engaging view. If that makes any sense. Like I think layering is what looks best with my watercolors, not specifically with this one, but yeah. All right, we're gonna let that chill for a moment. Now we're gonna use some very watered down permanent rose for this sort of bubblegum pink color on the one piece. I might try to sneak some purple in there just for some color variation. I don't know. We will see. We shall see. But I'm gonna start by making this look a little bit more natural, if you know what I mean. But I do like this pop of pink kind of coming out. This music is very dramatic. I think I said this last stream. This is like some video game music. I do think that a lot of this royalty-free music is made specifically for esports gamers and esports streams. So there's a lot of techno, just because that's what comes up in whenever I click on a playlist. Blah blah blah. Click on a playlist. I don't know. I mean, I think it works. Clearly, there's a market for it. Or else I wouldn't keep making it. And I'm just not a very demanding person most of the time. Okay, this definitely needs to be darker. See, I don't want to give this too much definition because yeah, that looks okay. We work with a lot of kids, so I don't quite want to go there too awful much. But I mean, they're water scenes, so there's not really a whole lot of a way around too much of that. Alright, I'm gonna, while this is still really wet and puddly, thank you. Alright, so this is still a little warm, but I'm gonna layer over that in a wash. And while this is all still really wet, I'm going to go in with some dioxylene purple and just sort of drop it in. Let's see. I need more. For some reason, like, whenever I'm stumped, I just add a little bit of purple, and it just does a lot for the whole situation. I don't know what it is. It pairs really well in skin, too. I think people must have a lot of purple kind of undertones that we just don't really pick up, because every time I add purple to skin, it really just makes the painting look a lot better. I'm not going to do it here, though, because I am going for a little bit more of like a, I don't know, like an Americana sort of pop art deal. This whole series is really out of character for me, which is fine. It's a lot more, I think, fun and less serious than what I usually do. You do you, love. Leandra, you're always so sweet. But I am still going to sneak some purple in there, per what I usually do. And I think purple and pink pairs really well together. I do secretly kind of like Barbie colors. You just can't tell me at 14 that. Okay, belly button's a little dark, so we're just gonna, there we go, just gonna dab on it a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of reinforce some of these seams here with some purple. And then this should be darker, I think. Let's see. Just make the devil out of it. Dab on it. I am not going to do that in my apartment because I want my security deposit back one day. All of this actually does come out of the floor, like this is all water soluble, but my goal is to one day have a studio that I own where I can beat the devil out of my brushes onto everything and I don't have to worry about landlords. I don't think I would even do it. That seems like, I wonder how often Bob Ross had to replace his brushes, because I feel like that's just, I mean, that's just gonna make your brushes lose their bristles really quick, right? Yes. I don't know, I mean, maybe he had some like super expensive brushes with really nice adhesive so that the bristles didn't fall out. I don't know. But I think he used animal hair brushes too, and in my experience the bristles fall out of animal hair brushes like way faster than synthetic. I don't know, maybe I've just been using like the cheap stuff, but yeah, I've never really had much of a problem with the synthetic brushes. There are some people that swear by the animal hair brushes though, like, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Paintings with 50 brushes each. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how much Bob Ross paintings were selling for while he was still alive. That's a good question. Like, I don't even know if he was popular kind of like before the show while he was still alive either. Like, I don't really know the trajectory of his life in that way. I'm kind of curious now that you mention it though. Like, did he get popular as a painter solely because of what is the name of his show officially? Painting with Bob Ross? Anyway, I don't know. That is one thing I'm sort of curious about now. think in that type of painting, he's probably the most palatable. If you're kind of into, I don't even know what you would call that, like sort of hyper idealized landscaping style. The Joy of Painting. That's what it is. The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. And then there's that other guy that's on Netflix. I forget what the name of his show. There's two painters on Netflix though, because I watched the other guy too, and he's a little like he does exclusively mise-en-scene stuff, or not mise-en-scene, on plein air. I'm getting my film and painting terms mixed up, but on plein air stuff. It's on plein air. I think it's on plein air painting with what's his face. Hey, could you do a future video beating the devil out of brushes, and you can test out a variety of brushes and you can do it over a span of time? That is not a bad idea, Leandra. Like, that is a really good idea for a video. Like, I could just stand in my backyard and just get a comparison with a bunch of different brushes. I don't know, if you have a brand of brush that you are curious, rig up some beating machines. Mega Beats. Oh gosh. I think I would just have to try like the buffest friends that I have and just kind of like go down the line. I don't know. I need people who lift. I need to find people who lift. I don't know how hard I can beat the devil out of brush. I don't know where you would get a machine that could do that. I mean, I guess I do, but I don't want to. I'm not buying one of those. But yeah, that's a really good idea for a video. I think I might end up doing that. I just need to make them out of used weed eaters or something. Used weed eaters. I think we have one that we don't really use much anymore. If there was some way to like stick a wooden spoon onto a weed eater and just use it to beat the devil out of brushes. I could only do it if I was wearing a Bob Ross wig though. I have overalls. I guess I could dress Max up like a squirrel. Okay, this is getting pretty wet. It's not really wanting to take a whole lot of pigment, so I'm gonna let that dry for a moment because I'm losing a lot of structure in there. I might actually dab at it. I'm gonna... Ooh, lost a lot of pigment there. Let's just put some of that right back in. Anyway, I can layer up on that. Like this I can work with. Duct tape. Yeah, just duct tape. Oh Lord. I think I might need to get insured before I try this. Is this not focusing? Did it lose focus? Sometimes this camera doesn't want to focus on my images. Yeah, Eli, if you want to come help me film that video, we can do it. I need to do it while the weather's still good. Actually might need to wait for our next payday though, just to make sure that, maybe we're a chainsaw. A chainsaw to a bike chain. Oh my gosh. Well, wait. How would you put the chainsaw on the bike? Are you saying put the bike chain like on the chainsaw instead of a chainsaw blade? Like one of the big heavy duty like mountain biking ones? Is this what you mean? Because I think I get what you're getting at. Let's mix a little bit of green with this red and start putting some shadows into this pool floaty. Duct tape is how. Duct tape the chain. Okay. I mean, if you think you can figure out a way to do this so that we won't all die, I am here for it. So that it's long enough. This sounds potentially very dangerous. Or a weed eater. Yeah, weed eater might be safer. I don't know. I'm also wondering if we could find like a really strong ceiling fan and hold it up to that really strong fast ceiling fan. Ooh, that is starting to bleed. But I don't want the, whoa. Oh, I think someone just wrecked. Hold on, hold on. I think someone literally just wrecked outside. Did you guys hear that boom? What was it, Max? Like, Max heard it. Did you guys hear that, though? At all? It sounded like someone ran into, like one of those big plastic garbage cans or something. I don't see anything, though. So I'm going to assume that was something else. Okay. I don't know, maybe the wind knocked one over, maybe? I don't know if it's that windy outside right now. We are getting close to that time of the year where things get a little bit spooky. I don't know, if something creepy happens on stream, though. Yeah. I don't know, no one's yelling. If it was a hit and run and I didn't see them, so I think the wind probably knocked something over. I did not, but I could have heard. The iPad has a really bad audio quality that I stream from, so yeah, I don't know how to, like, I wonder if there's some way to hook a microphone up to this thing or something. Like, I don't know. That is one of those things I wonder about when thinking about how to improve the stream. I guess I could start streaming from my cell phone instead of using the iPad, but I feel like the iPad kind of makes for a better screen. As you can see a little bit better. I don't know. I might try it one of these days. Like, if I'm off, like on vacation or something, I might do a Thursday stream on my phone just to see how it works out. I don't know, but it seems like it's gonna storm really bad, and I kind of wonder if the lights are gonna flicker or something, because then the internet's gonna go out. If I just randomly go off of stream, that's what's happened. But I have surge protectors and a dream. Gotta go. It was a pleasure watching you on the worthless out. Thanks. Thanks. Have fun. I'll see you when I see you, dude. You go take care of the squirm. Alright. So I'm just gonna add some shadows into this and try to make it look normal. Like I said, I'm not using really any references, so it's a bit of a struggle. If I was a less lazy person, I would totally be using references, but I'm lazy, so I'm not gonna. I don't know. I guess for some reason the picture looks a lot fuzzier on the iPad. I can see it in the laptop, which I kind of have behind me, so that I can be active in chat. But yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I think before I go any farther with the wrap, I'm gonna fix the foot situation, so she no longer has a broken whatever this situation is. Okay. So she needs, like, this needs to come out because you have a little hump on your foot whenever it's kind of pointed. And then she needs a heel. And then I guess that red needs to go in. I feel it on a personal level. Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying, like, hands and feet never get better. Like, it forever stays hard. You just kind of learn, like, some of the ways around it from other people. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks a lot more like a foot that someone could actually have and not be terribly injured by. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I think that looks, I don't know, I feel like you can't really see it all that well, but take my word for it, it looks more like a foot. Okay. Alright, back to adding shadows to this raft. I'm just adding some cadmium and some green, some cadmium red and green. I think I'm going to add some permanent rose too, just for some hue. Trying to sneak it into other places. All right. Cool. It does look like a more defined and believable foot. Thank you, Leandra. Yeah, feet and hands, man. Inktober has actually helped me out with that a lot, though. I feel like the feet and hands in Inktober have been a lot more passable. Because I kind of got out of practice after college a little bit, I think. So, like, my skill level did go down just a smidge. And, I don't know, it doesn't take, I mean, it doesn't take, like, a lot to get it back, but it does take doing it pretty frequently for a couple days in a row, I think, to kind of get back some of your technical control. But yeah, I don't know, I think after college I was just so burnt out on everything. I legit took a year break, and I really wished I wouldn't have, because I feel like I lost out on a lot of time. But I don't know. Hindsight and all that. You can't really dwell on it, you know? Like, we all just kind of do things in our own way, so I'm not super worried about it. And I really am enjoying Inktober this year. I'm having a good time with it. That is not a straight line. That's okay. I can fix it here. I feel like the teachers in the classes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm to the point now that I kind of miss school a little bit. Just because I kind of miss, like, deadlines that aren't self-imposed. Like, it kind of takes some energy out of me to have self-imposed deadlines in a weird way. And I don't really know what to make of it. Like, I don't know what that says about me, but I don't know, I guess you just kind of deal with it. It's awesome that you're streaming your work and getting back into it. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of felt like, because I'm trying to grow an online presence, and I think part of the reason I got out of doing a lot of the fine art for a little while was because it's a lot more time consuming. And when you're trying to grow an online presence, you kind of have to constantly be uploading and putting out art. And it's really hard to get attention online if it's not some sort of like fan art or something a little bit more in the vein of illustration and sort of more pop art. So I was doing a lot of stuff on the iPad with Procreate, and then I thought, well, like, I can just kind of kill two birds with one stone, because I do want to have more of a portfolio for when I decide to go to grad school. And I was like, well, everybody likes watching people paint. Like, some of our most modern popular painters are people who have kind of put their stuff out there in that way. So, and it gives me an opportunity to hang out with a lot of my friends, because like so far it's just people that I know streaming, like it's you and a lot of other college people and, you know, family and friends. So like it gives me an opportunity to hang out so I don't feel like I'm cooped up in a gallery all the time, because I sometimes feel like I'm just not getting a lot of time with people if I'm working a lot. I only wish a place like Twitch had, I kind of wish Twitch had a streamable option, just because, like, I know that's where people already kind of go to watch streams, and they don't have an option for streaming on mobile devices like what I do, so that's kind of a bummer. I figure they'll get on that eventually, I think, but so far I'm just doing this. And I'll start streaming with my iPad once I can figure out, like, once I get a lightning cable or whatever it's called. There's supposed to be some sort of cord or something you can use to do that. I don't really know. Like, Procreate has a stream option, but it keeps dropping for no reason, so I kind of feel like I'll have to stream it through a laptop. Whenever I do decide to start doing that, but I think it does work really well as an avenue for making sure I'm constantly cranking out fine art. For some reason, my paper, like all of the paper from this set, smells like wood smoke, and I can't quite figure out why. It's a little bit unnerving. The gallery that this was up in was at the Dairy Barn in Virginia, and I can't help but wonder if maybe, like, there's just like a lot of wood smoke smell or something going on there whenever we're not having shows, because it smells a lot like wood smoke. Like, as soon as I opened up the glass, it was like, whoo, that is a chimney. Not that it's not a smell I enjoy, I like don't enjoy. Like, that is a smell I enjoy, but I just can't figure out why it's like, we don't have a wood stove, and it hasn't been cold enough to turn one on if we did have one. Hey, Steph! Welcome back. It's just my hands this time, because I can't really work on watercolors in an like an upright position, so it's just my hands this time, but howdy. I hope things at GameStop are going well. Howdy. I could start doing what some people do at home. Some of the friends of the family will say hooty hoo whenever they're trying to get your attention. And it's really fun when you're going to ITK. Yeah, it's almost pre-release season. I'm really excited. I don't know if that's fun for you at all, pre-release season, but I enjoy it because I don't work there, probably. And Black Friday. Dude, GameStop is bumping on Black Friday. That's when I got my Snorlax. Like, they have really good Pokemon collectibles at GameStop on Black Friday. Slightly better pay, so it's good enough for me. Yeah, I hear GameStop's pay is not always the best, but I mean, I guess you get kind of money off existing games, so can't complain too awful much. Yeah, we haven't pre-ordered too much this season though. Like, we pre-ordered Let's Go, and when it gets a little bit closer to the date, I will pre-order the Resident Evil 2 remake because I'm really excited for that. But there wasn't beyond that, there wasn't so much that I was super excited for. Let's see. So I'm to a point where I feel like I should probably just quit fussing with this pool floaty, because I will, honest to God, mess with this all stream. And I really need to start addressing the back. And I need to like darken this area up. But that's pretty okay, I think. Good employee discounts, but the pay is terrible. They're supposed to give extra reason on holidays because so many complained. Yeah, they oughta. I know what GameStop looks like during the holidays. I mean, just the traffic on Black Friday was something else. And then they have those like bag deals, which I'm sure are kind of chaotic behind the scenes. Like, they actually ran out of bags when we went, and that's how we got the deal on my big Snorlax beanie, what is it, beanie bag? Beanbag plush. Because they didn't have any bags, and Tanner like Jedi mind tricked the guy and was like, well, any chance we can get 20% off since you're out of bags and you can't prove that we couldn't fit it in a bag? And I think the guy honestly either just didn't want to deal with him or wanted to say that they actually sold one of those things, because they were like $150. That was my big present for the year. And yeah, he let us have it. So that's the story. If you're ever, whenever I get a house big enough to have company over, because my apartment is itty bitty, I want to have a big game room, and that'll be in there. And then I know that they make a Pikachu one too, and I kind of want a Pikachu one to match it. You could kind of have it on either side of the couch. Coincidentally, because of that, there will be no eating in the game room if we ever have one. Probably because he didn't give a crap. Yeah. I mean, he was a manager, but I hear it's super easy to get into managerial positions at GameStop. I'm gonna have to define that when it dries a little bit more, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much right now. Yeah, he probably didn't care. He was probably trying to get rid of us. And like, I don't know, they had a bunch of like, I don't know what you call them, like doorbuster things with the Switch. Because that was the year after the Switch was released. And they do a bunch of really good sales like the year after in the holidays, because they want to make sure people have them before they phase out. Although I don't know that they're going to phase out the DS for real. People keep saying that they are. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. Like, I don't think that the Switch is really going to catch on as a strictly handheld thing, because I don't know anybody that uses it like that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. It's just, it's such an expensive item to be running around with. Like, I know that's what it's intended for, but like, I just don't know anybody who does it. I'm sure they exist. Switch has been huge over here, but only if you have it. So like, people will actually take it out and use it in a handheld way. Like, we have one, but we use it as a home system. Like, exclusively. Tanner will sometimes take it out. Like, if we're on vacation, he will sometimes bring the Switch, but I mean, he's he still very much uses the DS. We actually upgraded to the 3DS not too long ago. Maybe that's why. Mostly people who travel, yeah. We don't travel super often, but when we went on our honeymoon, he played Breath of the Wild on the Switch a lot. Speaking of the devil, there he is. I'm talking about you. Gaming and cards. Thanks. You like my hands? My beautiful hands. I didn't know who you were for a minute because you changed your thing to gaming and cards. Did you ever upload that video, by the way? The one of you unboxing Ravnica or whatever? You did upload it? I need to subscribe to your channel, Tanner. What kind of wife am I? Nope. Oh, okay. I didn't think you had. I haven't uploaded, like many, all but one of my Inktober's, because, like, it just doesn't, like, it just does not want to upload to Google Drive so I can edit it on the big laptop. And I don't know how to make that happen. So until I can figure it out. I mean, I guess it's fine. I can just pull out those on a rainy day whenever I have something I want to talk about. Because I don't know if you can tell by the rambling nature of this stream, but I don't always have things to talk about. I was telling someone the other day I am a terrible conversationalist. You'd love that I subscribe to your thing? I think I might be. I don't know. We use your account on the PlayStation, so maybe. I don't know. So I'm using wet watercolor for this galaxy background because if things work the way they should, it'll add more pigment in relation to everything here, because all of this was done with dry watercolor. And this should stand out kind of a lot more against it. So I think the storm just missed us. It was thundering a moment ago, and I thought there was a wreck, but I think it must have just been something else making a lot of noise. But, yeah, there was a really loud thud. And I, honest to God, thought someone had wrecked, but I looked all around and I couldn't see anything, so I think maybe it must have knocked like a trash can over somewhere in the street. Because that's what it sounded like. It sounded like a car hitting one of those big plastic trash cans. And I don't think that's what it was. But if the stream suddenly drops, it's because the storm was not gone and I was mistaken and power went out. But, I mean, it's been pretty quiet now, so I think it blew over. And so I'm just adding a lot of purple and blue. And I'm kind of like moving the drips around so that they don't form in crevices too much. I want it to look not a whole lot like puddles. And then I did all the stars with acrylic, with like white acrylic paint after everything had dried, and just sort of covered the stuff that I didn't want to have stars on it. And I'll have to redo that. But hopefully it should give a nice layered effect with some of this acrylic peeking through. Because it won't bind to the acrylic, it's too slick of a surface. But I'll probably do that off camera outside so I don't get it everywhere. Because I got it all over my kitchen table when I initially did this, and I still have not gotten it out of the wood grain. And when we move into a nicer house, I will opt to get a bigger and better table. That's not from Walmart. Nothing wrong with Walmart furniture, inherently, especially when you're college students, but I feel like I am beyond the broke college student point of my life. Still broke, but that's my own fault. Like, I'm an artist. It would be either unfortunate or very fortunate if I was broke, so. And we're not broke. I shouldn't say we're broke, but we're not, like, seniors in college broke. I can afford nicer furniture whenever I get where I'm going, is what I'm saying. Or at least a nicer table that doesn't have acrylic paint stuck in the wood grain. Or I could be thrifty and just get a tablecloth, which might also work. Yeah, in fact, I'll probably just end up getting a tablecloth. Low key. I think I'm going to stick some of the, what's the lighter blue? Is it Prussian blue? I've been out of the loop, unfortunately. I know. Destroy Comic Corner series are working right now. Yeah, the comic is currently on the back burner a little bit. I needed to just step away from it. Because I wasn't, like, I was to the point that I wasn't excited to work on it anymore. This is just, these are paintings that I initially did for a show back in July. I think it might have been June or August, but yeah, these were originally for a show that I did a while back over the summer, and there's a show coming up in November that I just kind of need to spit something out for, so I'm gonna update these because I wasn't super happy with the execution initially, and I'm gonna give it another go. Because the show's in Virginia, and it's in the kind of harbor district of Virginia. So I imagine people have like boating homes that they go to. I think kind of beach themed stuff will do very well if everything, I don't know, I mean, when I plan like that, everything kind of turns out the opposite, it seems like, so I'm not banking super hard on that, but let's see. But yeah, that's pretty much the story of why I'm doing these. And they were pretty rushed because I did them while I was on vacation, which I would not suggest, trying to spit stuff out while you're on vacation. Like, I was being lazy. And now I am attempting to not be a lazy person. Kind of make up for it. Because I think I like the spirit of these pieces. Like, I think in spirit they're very fun. Yeah, thank you. I actually run sales whenever we do shows like these with the gallery, which is funny. Like I never would have thought that I was someone who was good to talk to because I feel like I'm super awkward. But I don't know. It must work because I generally tend to sell pretty well. Like we do well whenever we go to some of these more affluent areas and try to sell stuff like. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going, but I don't know. It feels good, whatever's going on. So feels right, I guess, and nothing bad has happened. So hopefully I'm going in some sort of positive direction. I don't know. Leandra, have you thought about, like, are you doing grad school, or have you thought about going back, or, like, going into grad school, or pursuing anything in any capacity? Because I go back and forth on doing it a lot. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I want to. And Steph, I can't remember if you've graduated or not yet. I feel like you graduated because you were supposed to graduate. Yeah, you've graduated. Are you thinking about doing any like grad school stuff? Because I don't know. I don't think anybody that I really went to school with or kind of knew in a college capacity has for art anyway. And that kind of makes me wonder if I should, or like, I don't know, it makes me skeptical. Like, I don't know how much it would do for me. You know what I mean? Yep, I don't think I'm going to grad school. No. Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah, I thought you had graduated. Because I remember, like, you were supposed to, and then your professor went on sabbatical. And then, so you did it, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But you're wanting to focus on music, right? Stuff, like, you got all that band stuff going on. I kind of feel like people respond differently to music. Like, that's a completely different kind of deal. What do I do, Chris? Oh, you are? Yeah, I noticed. What do you want to do? I don't remember ever, like, discussing what you had wanted to go into. I know you're posting a lot of illustrations. Like, I especially loved the leggy oarfish. Oh. The band is on hiatus. Oh, that's a bummer. I mean, I guess it's not a bummer. I just, like, I hope you come out of hiatus at some point where I can see you guys live. even though it's a lot harder to do now that I'm not in the state. But you're wanting to do like what, like computer illustration, I think, right? I'm just gonna let this drip because there's this big puddle that keeps forming right there. I kind of wonder if I should weight that down somehow. Yeah, I think I should have done it before and after with this, because I think that is a lot more vibrant than I had it initially. I might even go back and I plan on doing commercial illustration for marketing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I remember you saying something like that. Oh. Oh, jeez. I've been sitting down, guys. I'm up. Oh. I gotta grab another picture. I got 6 of these to get through. So I'm gonna let that one dry and then let's see. What do I want to do next? This one will work. These two kind of go together. Yeah. I wish commercial illustration was something I knew a lot more about. Just because, like, I think when you market yourself online, in a lot of ways it tends to turn into, like, freelance type things. And, that's, oh geez, that's always kind of, I don't know, I just wish that was a market I knew a lot more about. Alright, I gotta take a moment and see which pictures I actually added into this. So I gotta go through my message and see what list I sent in. Let's see. Okay. Pool noodle and lounging. Okay, cool. Alright, so I got the 2 that I needed. That way I don't get to draw whatever I want, but it's a stable and pays. That's good. That's good. So are you getting a lot of work with that? Oh. Kind of advertising is its own animal in a lot of ways. You gotta be like super clever. Oh jeez, my back is killing me. You gotta be super clever, I feel like, to be good at illustrating commercially. I'm just like not. I'm so stubborn. I only want to do like exactly what I want. Which is no way to be. Like, I wish I had the skill to really sell something, like just based on art alone. Like, I'm pretty good at selling stuff whenever I'm talking to somebody, just in a sales capacity, but not much beyond that, sadly. Alright. So this guy kind of goes with the one I was just working on. And it's pretty much going to call for the same treatment in a lot of ways. I think a lot of tonight's just going to be going back and forth between these two. I'm currently working with my uncle in Chicago. That's really cool. I have a friend that lives out in Chicago. It seems like a really fun place to live. And there's certainly a lot of marketing to be done there. Have you ever been? Like, I've never been. It's I reckon a great place for the arts though. It's kind of the third runner in like the New York LA triad, I think. Like maybe Chicago, maybe Seattle. It does my heart well to see my friends are doing well in terms of career. Like it just makes me happy when things work out like they should. Alright, so I'm just gonna zhuzh this little inner tube up a little bit. A little too dangerous for me to live there comfortably though. Yeah, I can understand that. I can completely understand that. I feel like that about a lot of big cities. And I mean, you can probably relate to this a little bit, like, I don't know, it just seems like you kind of have to go to a bigger city if you're gonna make it in art, like, I don't know, like house payment make it. And I don't know that I could live in New York, which is like the big gallery kind of area. I don't know that I could do it. And it seems like if you want to be included in like the modern discourse of fine art or whatever you want to call it, like you kind of have to go to grad school in New York and get into some of the galleries there. And I don't know that I could do the city. I could do upstate. I've been to Niagara Falls area. I thought it was very nice. And my sister-in-law is from upstate New York. Like, that is very nice, and it's a very pretty area. But, I don't know. I don't know about living in a really person-dense area. I mean, maybe I'd love it. I don't know. But, I don't know. I'm kind of a country mouse. Like, I think even Lexington might be a little too big for me to live in comfortably. I say as I live in Morgantown, but I don't know. Morgantown's really... I mean, Morgantown's still just kind of a college town. I don't know. Morgantown seems a little small town in a lot of ways. I still wouldn't suggest walking on High Street at night, though. Like, after 10. Like maybe don't be on High Street after 10. And certainly not alone if you're a female. Like, maybe if you're with a group. Alright. I sometimes wonder if I use the angled brush too much, but I really like the structure that kind of having that really nice square edge gives me. Moorhead, Kentucky would suit you. You think so? Hold on, let me show this. Your thing is being held for review. I wonder why. That's weird. The chat held that chat for review. That's weird. I wonder if they thought maybe it was a an advertisement. My sister's going to Moorhead right now, and I think she likes it. But did they do graduate programs? I wasn't sure if they did or not. Let's see. I'm just doing a lot of layering. Let's see. So I'm sorry if this gets a little dry. I loved it there. Oh. I did not know that they did graduate stuff. A part of me would like to go back to Kentucky if I did higher education. I don't know. But I don't know, like I have a lot of ties here in West Virginia. I do sometimes wonder if I'll have to go back and kind of take care of my papa and my dad at some point. Like, I think a lot of people do. I'd love to be able to open a gallery up in Leslie County somehow. That like if I could become a name that people would actually go out of their way to like this little podunk town and just to see a gallery. I think that if I opened one in Leslie County, like, I don't know, it would be my way of doing something for the community. Also maybe doing something like that in Berea too, because Berea was very good to me. But yeah, Cameron's going to Moorhead right now. I kind of wish I could tell her more about what it's like. I might send her to you if she has any questions. Because I honestly don't. Like the for-profit colleges are kind of a really different experience. She says that like they make you take a class that tries to teach you to be an extrovert. I don't know if they had that when you were a freshman, but like that's one of the required freshman orientation classes is like how to go from being an introvert to an extrovert. How to be energized by being around people. Whatever is more. Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. I do feel a little wistful as an artist. Like, I just do a million different things. That's the other thing, though. I would want to try and at least, like, I'm just going to end up going, if I do go wherever I can manage to scrounge up a scholarship. Because I don't know that I can justify paying for it. But, yeah, I don't know. Being a college professor might be fun. I was a TA, so like I have experience, but I don't know. I don't know that I'm in the business of planning a whole lot right now. Just because I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know where I'm going, what we're doing. This is that song with the little Twitter sound in it. I think I'm gonna skip it. That was already over. Okay. I think that layering looks pretty good. I'll probably let that dry and then go over that with like some watered down permanent rose. Alright, I guess I better start on this dude. Like his torso and stuff. And then I'll let him dry and then go back to the lady on the lounge floaty. I think he might need ears. Like, I can't tell if you would see ears from where he's at or not. Okay. Okay. The one good thing about the torso is you get a lot more structure that you can kind of layer into. I don't want to straight on give him like big abs or anything, but I don't think there's anything wrong with kind of hinting at them. But this right here definitely needs to go darker. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's a little wet, so we're just gonna push that around. I'm telling you, man, watercolors are secretly way harder than oils. You get a lot less control out of watercolors. Let's push that around. See, I'm trying to think where I can hide some structure in this arm here. In that elbow a little bit. Push that. Yeah, that looks. Yeah, okay. Cool. I can deal with that. Let's add some pigment back here. I'm really bad about keeping these in frame for some reason. I wonder if I should just start taping them down. That's what we used to do. And I still have that board, it's just really big for this apartment. The size of our old art boards are just about the size of this little living room section that we're in. Our apartment is itty bitty. Oh, but again, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna, I don't think the way that I have this arm right now kind of really communicates that he's hanging it off to the side. And I think like it needs to come out here. Like you'll get this moment of shoulder here, and then it will hit the water a little bit more. Just if I'm trying to guesstimate anatomy. Problem is there's a lot of blue there that I had to erase. So if I can try to like, let's see. Hold on, I gotta change positions. I've been sitting on my butt. Everything's going to sleep. Never get old, guys. Oh my goodness. You know, it seems like when you're in like grade school and in preschool, you're on the floor all the time. Like story time, you're sitting on the floor. Playtime, you're sitting on the floor. Movie time, you're usually sitting on the floor. Man, you get older and you just cannot sit on the floor like you used to when you were a little kid. And it seems like that used to be what was really comfortable when you're like, you know, I don't know, like 8 or 9, maybe even up to until like 10, 11, but like, oh Lord. I feel like I used to sit on the floor and watch TV a lot, too. Not so anymore. Not any longer. Maybe the shoulder needs to come out more back here. So I'm going to try erasing that. Like this. Yeah, I think that actually, yeah, okay, maybe that's all that needed. I think maybe, I'm gonna try to add some ears, but I might wait for that to dry before I start trying to paint those in. Oh. In the meantime, I will address the leg situation. Cannot see what I'm doing. I remind myself to make sure I'm painting in frame. It's hard when you get really focused on what you're doing. Okay. Alright, I will wait for that to dry and then I will layer on top of that leg. And then I will start on the second leg. And you can probably hear my dog walking around. Was it Max? Does anybody else have animals that like to lay on shoes? My dog got up, walked around the room, and then just, I guess he just got up to go lay on our shoes by the door. I don't know. I mean, I know dogs that will like lay on clothing when they miss you, but I don't know if that applies to shoes. It would make sense because he's on my husband's flip-flops. And he is not currently here. But anyway, that's what my dog is currently doing. He is laying on flip-flops. I'm kind of surprised he's not barking more because it is storming. It's just not thundering a whole lot. Okay. Okay, I do want this to have a bit of a shin. I enjoy sneaking shins into my paintings, but it's a little wet for it to take right now, so I'm just gonna let that dry. And then I'm going to move on and try to add some structure to this hand. Let's see. Okay. So currently I don't like that the hair is the same sort of color. My wiener dog does that. Yeah, okay, so my dog's not the weird one. I mean, he's weird, but not because he lays on shoes. That makes me feel... doesn't necessarily make me feel better, but I was curious. How is your wiener dog doing, by the way? I haven't seen that little fluffy long boy since he was still pretty small. I think I saw him when he was a puppy. Him or her, I can't remember. But yeah, I haven't seen your dog since it was itty bitty. Because the last time I think I went to your house was... Have I been to your house since my wedding? Or... like, I can't remember. He lost a lot of weight, which is good because he was overweight. Oh, that's right. I met your cats. Have I not met your dog? I think I met your dog. I do remember your cats. Because there was one of them that was really rambunctious and was going after shoes, and it was adorable. Maybe that's what I'm getting mixed up. I just remember there was a small animal. I don't know. Yeah, I don't either. My memory is not very great anymore. I mean, I guess it probably never was. But yeah. I'm glad your animals are doing well. You'll have to congratulate your pup on the weight loss for me. We take Max to the vet on Tuesday, and I feel like they're probably going to tell me that he needs to lose weight. Just because obesity is super prevalent in his breed. And he eats like a horse. Okay, this is very like one color. This needs some variation in the skin, so I'm gonna take some burnt umber and just start like pushing it into some shadows. Yeah, I think that did a lot for it. I do think I'm going to have to make the hair kind of a different shade or do something to it. Let's add some black to it and see. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's do a little bit of shading on this inner tube, and then let's touch the background, and then I will go back to the first painting I was working on and adjust some more of that lady's torso because it's a little thick now that I'm looking at it. I think I'm actually going to use the scoopy brush for it. Okay. Just move this around. Start kind of just slipping some of that in there. Alright, so just add some shading in. We'll put some down here. And I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot to mix that, because I do think I kind of like the inner tube having a harsher edge with the shading. That needs more pigment. It's a little, it's not going to take anymore. Alright, I'll have to wait for that to dry. That's okay, we can always come back to it. And then I do want to try and give a nice outline here. Just where that torso meets. can tell it's windy outside because I don't know if you guys can hear, because I know the iPad doesn't have a great mic, but every now and again the wind will hit my screen door and it'll kind of sound like someone's knocking. If you're in the Morgantown area, please drive safely. It sounds like it's a very windy night. Probably not the best time to be out on the road. Especially since it's been so wet. Like, I don't know that we can get much more rain without it really flooding the streets at this point. I mean, on one hand, it's really good because, I mean, if you have a wet fall, you don't have to worry about forest fires as much, but, and you get a prettier fall, right? Because you get the kind of full spectrum of the leaves changing, but, I don't know, you get it. It's just like the weather patterns I can't quite pin down right now. Usually we can kind of quit mowing the lawn around, like around the beginning of October. Like we usually mow it one last time at like the end of August. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get away with it because the weeds are still growing pretty rapidly with all this rain. You can't have it all, I guess. Let's put start putting some of this background in. I think part of where I messed up with this the first time is I used a lot of black with this pigment and it really kind of toned it down. So I'm going in just like straight watercolor and not trying to darken it at all. And I think it builds off of like this ground of black that I've already laid down quite nicely. And the trick will just be getting it to swirl and kind of blend. Let's see here. I don't want that to bleed if I can keep from it. Let's actually get that to move down a little bit. There we go. No, it's not so heavy right there. Definitely need some more blue though. Just sort of butt that up against there, like so. The hard part here is just like making sure that all that blue and purple is even, because you don't want too much of one color like in one spot, or and it's kind of hard to anticipate here, especially because like the matting that I use does eat up a lot of this space. Uh-oh. I can go back over that, that's not a huge problem. But boy, do I love hiding purple in a painting. Okay, let's add some more blue in there. drip that down. Alright, I really don't want it to bleed in this little section here like it has been. Alright. I can fix that though, like that's not a huge deal. Just put some blue. Okay. Let's drag that out. I'm gonna try and put some purple all through this, I think. Definitely needs more water. I am not in frame. There we go. Where'd you go? I'm right here. Can you not hear me? Hold on, let me check the chat. The chat must have lagged. That's weird. So I must be lagging. Am I lagging? Oh, nope, there I am. Okay. Alright, I didn't stall out too bad, I guess. Okay, I'm here, I promise. It's just, yeah, I guess the storm must be interfering with the stream. Okay, this already has like way too much purple in it. I'm gonna add some blue. Try and eat it up. All right, yeah. Let me know in the chat if it if this thing stalls out again, because yeah, it's storming here, and yeah, it must be interfering. If not, like, if it does, I can try to, like, I don't know, like I can be active in the chat like, and interact that way just until it comes back on. Because I'm still here, I promise. If it does happen again, like, I'm still here. Like, I'm pretty dedicated. Dedicated Debbie. Alright, let's see here. This little corner is going to be difficult with this big brush. It should actually be a little point right there. There we go. Cool. Alright, I'm just kind of fighting this blue and purple against itself. I'm debating on if I should add any black to this. I don't think I'm going to, just because I do think that it's dark enough with the underpainting that I've done. I don't know, let me know what you guys think. This is now a, what is it? This is a democratic painting now. That was a weird sound. Is that the... Don't jump up there, Max. I have a thing up there. Come here, buddy. Come here. You can lay here. The wind is making some very questionable sounds right now. Like, it sounds like it's really gonna... I don't know. I thought I had gotten the worst of it, and I guess it hasn't. I guess this is going to be a big, long storm. And I'm really hoping that everything holds out. I really don't like being alone when it storms, just because, like, I don't want to be alone in case the power goes out. I'm kind of a wimp. And I am in a ground floor apartment, and that just... I've seen enough scary stories. Like, I've seen enough scary movies. I've read enough true crime. Like, I got Anne Rule sitting on my countertop. I know how this story goes, so... Oh, gosh. It's funny, like, you would think as you get older you would quit kind of being afraid of those things, but now it's like... No, now I just have context for why we are afraid of certain things. Now that I'm old enough to kind of know about terrible things that have happened in the world. Like, sometimes I kind of wonder if my interests are detrimental to any issues with anxiety or paranoia that I have. But I don't have really any interest in changing, so I guess it's a non-issue. Alright, this is a lot of purple and this little spot down here, so I'm gonna add some blue in there. I'm gonna fix this little spot in the inner tube where it kept dripping through, and hopefully it won't drip into the background. I have to go in like kind of dry though, so it doesn't squish around. And then right here in this little corner too, I think. There's that little bald spot. It's giving me so much grief. There we go. That's better. Let's see. I do not like what I did there. Nope. Okay, I'm just gonna quit touching it because I think I'm gonna mess it up. I think I am going to put some more like really light permanent rose over these shorts though, just to make them a little bit brighter. Just like a wash. Yeah, I don't know that I like what I just did there. You know, I think it was better before actually. So let's undo that. Actually, with the paper towel, that doesn't look so bad. Yeah, that's not so bad. I think I will go back into that with some purple though, maybe. Until then, I'm going to go back to the first painting. Oh, shit. Hold on, it ran into this little spot here. Gotta like kind of take that out, absorb it. I'm just gonna have to wait till that's like completely bone dry and then go back into it, I think. And that's fine. That is something that is totally doable. All right, this is pretty dry. So I'm gonna take the angled brush, and this is really thick right here. So I'm gonna take red and green and kind of shave down on some of that because it's currently too much. This right here. I think that does a lot for that. And then here too, like just to really reinforce and define this little line here. that. It needs to be dark right there too, just in this little shadow. I think that's doing pretty good because that doesn't actually read like green. And I was kind of afraid that it would. Like I'm going a lot darker with the green here. Every time a really loud car goes by, I'm afraid it's storm sirens. And there's a lot of really loud cars that go by on the street. I'm scared to death that there's going to be a storm siren go off. Because I really don't want to go into the basement right now. I have to go outside to go into our basement where the washing machine is. I don't want to do that. I don't even have a working light down there. I would have to, like, exist with my phone. It's just not something I want. Nope. I do think I want to do more with this foot here too. Like it's certainly more of a believable foot, but now I want to give it some toes. Oh, let me adjust my sitting position here. Good lord. Oh. Sitting for close to 2 hours is rough on this old lady. Oh, good lord. I need to get like a yoga mat or something for when I do watercolor streams. Or better yet, find a way that I can do them while sitting in a real chair instead of on my living room floor. I suppose that's also an option. Let's see here. But taking the obvious easy route, not on my watch. Okay. All right. And we are pulling out the round brush. Oh. And we're just gonna go in. I might get quiet here for a moment, because we are going into detail land. You guys can't even see that. Hold on. Just that there. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to completely kind of erase that and go back into it, I think. Looking at it again, this comes down a little long here. And I kind of need to shave it off because it's like, if a foot's sitting upwards like this, you're not going to get that much of a long look to it. Whew. Sitting like this is rough. I might need to stand up for a little bit here and just kind of like stretch. And then this turns into painting in yoga with Olivia. As if I know yoga. But that looks pretty okay, I think. Oof. Alright. Oh, okay. I'm gonna stretch my back here for a little bit, guys. Oh. I used to be a pretty limber little youngin'. I used to dance. Oh, I used to do ballet. Oh, Lord. No longer. No longer is that a thing I can do at all. Whew. Oh, good Lord. Oh, okay. I promise I'm still here. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, we're back. Okay. All right, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go back into this lady's bathing suit. And kind of do some last minute adjusting, I think, just on some of these contours. I wonder if this is going too purple. We add some more permanent rose. have to go in and reinforce some of this hair also. Oh wow, I didn't realize how long I've been streaming for. Yeah, it's been 3 hours. Interesting. Yeah, I figure I'll finish this lady up and then I'll probably call it a night. Just because my back is low-key screaming at me. Yes, I'm still listening. Yeah, I didn't realize it was 9 o'clock. I didn't realize at all that it was this late. But I do think adding the round brush into some of these contours is kind of adding some structure that I thought this lady lacked a little bit. That's not what I wanted. Let's see, this needs to come up right here. Cool. Okay. I will need to reinforce that hair before I call it a night, though. actually adding some like hatching with the round brush will do a lot. Yeah. Let's see, I'm gonna push that into that corner there. This tricep is a lot bigger than the other one. I'm gonna have to go in here with some purple and like shave that down a little bit, I think. Shave it down as it comes up. I'm gonna just try to like pull that out some. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, that looks a lot better. I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry before I can go in and reinforce some of that arm though. Let's see. Cool. Alright. I'll continue pushing some of these darks. I'm gonna have to put some more on the neck. I don't want to give her any like cleavage though. So just sort of do one of these. Then I can go back in and adjust the hair as needed after that dries. Yeah, alright, cool. Okay to me. I'm wondering if I should give the background another layer as I go along. Because I don't think she's standing out against the background quite as much as I would have initially hoped. So I think maybe I'll go in and give like just some spot coloring, maybe. Like, kind of like here. Just to give it a little bit more saturation. The problem with these watercolors is I think they tend to dry a lot less saturated than they go on. Like they lighten up quite a bit. So I'm probably going to end up having to go over these like a couple of different times, I think. But I do think that helps quite a bit overall. Let's put a little cloud here. And then that should be it with the purple on this side. And I can start adding more blue, I think. Let's definitely put some here though. I want the pigment to butt up against this figure too. Just so it creates the illusion that this object is sitting right there up against whatever's happening back here. I'll have to clean up this little moment of bleeding, but I think I'll have to wait some more. So far, like, this has just been layering and cleaning up edges all night. That is just all that I am doing. and that is alright. We're just gonna hope that the final product is good enough that I don't embarrass myself at the show in November. That's all we can hope for in life, right? That needs more pigment. Alright, and I guess I'll put some blue on there. Alright, just more blue, I guess. It's really hard to make pigment stand out against the black that I had initially laid down. It was not my my best judgment at the time, I think, but that's alright, everything's a learning process. Like that is fine. Now, I feel like the more coats of purple and blue I put on this, the more, like, just the better it looks. It's like as many coats I can put on here, the better. Alright. That is pretty good. Alright, we're gonna wait for that to dry. Oh, well, I don't know, maybe I should try to clean up this line before I sign off. Oh. I think it's a good sign that I don't realize that I've been streaming for as long as I have, because I think that means I'm just sort of getting more used to it. But, man, it's a lot. It would be a lot better if I was like not kneeling on the floor in order to do these. All right. Oh, I think I'm about as... Okay. I think that's good for the night. Whew. All right, thank you guys for sticking around, and thank you to everybody who left. I will see you guys later. Oh. Bye.